Hello, hello, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Happy New Year. If you are in the room this evening, please let us know that you are in the room. As normal, I'm going to do my checks to make sure that we are all good. But if by chance you are in the room, just feel free to log in and let us know. So let me go ahead and make sure everything is set here. Silent my phone. Should already be silent, but I'm silencing it now. Silencing it now. All right, if you guys and gals are in, please make sure you let us know that you're here. Let me know you can see me. Let me know you can hear me. Those are generally our preliminary checks. I want to make sure that we are all good to go. All right. Check, check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We are getting ready to blast off for the new year. And I hope that everyone is here. Let me check on my phone, make sure we are good. I'm logging in here, make sure we are good. Uh, All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. I'm just doing my checks here. Type in yes if you can hear me. Let me put that here. Type yes if you can hear me or see me. And let me do one more check. Okay, so I think we're good to go. All right, I'm hearing myself, I'm seeing myself here, so I think we are good to go. If we do have any audio problems, just feel free to type in here. Okay, so let's go. Are you ready for a brand new year? This is 2019. Welcome to the new year and happy new year on behalf of our Monetize Your Skills Academy online community. We are grateful for your support last year and we're looking forward to up leveling and doing a whole lot of wonderful things in 2019. As some of you have seen already from the title, of tonight's webinar, we want to talk as a community and discuss how we can set and achieve absolutely any goal in 2019. Furthermore, I'm going to make some predictions as well for our career, for your success in general, business, ministry, whatever have you. I want to be able to share some predictions based on studies and research and things that are coming up. So for those, we always want to say a few things for those who might be new, who are first timers here, or somebody might have sent you the link. So a couple of things. One is, my name is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran, #1 best-selling author, implementation strategist. And I've written several books, 10 books actually. But we have created something called Monetize Your Skills Academy, which is an online group of people who are enrolled in my course who have gotten this book. And we share weekly webinars teaching on different aspects as it relates to life, business, or ministry. Anything that has to do with those particular 3 areas of life, we cover them here every single week. So if you have something you'd like us to discuss, please feel free to send us a message, chance@monetizeyourskills.com or chance@ strategicsecrets.com. When you do that, we'll be able to probably feature one of your things or questions or concern on an upcoming training webinar. So just mark your calendars. Every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, we have these particular training sessions. So you don't have to worry if they're going to be here. If we are not going to have one, we generally send out a memo letting our community know. So if you want to participate, interact with me, again, feel free to get any of our books. Go to strategicsecrets.com or monetizeyourskills.com. Get the book, get in the community, and we'll be able to take your life to the next level. Alrighty. So a couple of things. Again, with 2019, we spoke on last year. We ended out talking a lot about, different things we need to start our careers or business. We had in October, we had a big influx of some of our students. And so we were able to get them through. We like to be able to work with you. Not only do you enroll in our course, but we like to help you out. So for some folks from our communities are now writing books. Last session we did was with Carol. And we helped Carol to be able to outline her book, and we spent a whole almost an hour or so, I think, just coaching her live how to be able to, strategize, get the information out of her head, and create a framework for writing a book. Michael Appiah from Canada is one of our students. Michael has just finished his book. It's a leadership book, and it is a book that he's going to be able to use to now coach clients. And so, again, stick with the community, do the assignment, do the assessments. If you practice these things, I'm telling you, you're going to get the results. So people are using their books to create courses. People are using their books to create business and different things along those lines. All right. Not only that, but we have a new website. Have you gone to strategicsecrets.com lately? If you haven't, please go to strategicsecrets.com. We have a brand new website, fully upgraded, fully automated, and we wanted to do that because, as we said, 2019, our watchword is marketing. That's the main thing we're going to be focusing on. We have spent the last few years laying a foundation for this business, and now we believe that 2019 is the year to actually go big and to be able to make a big difference and an impact. So all we're going to be doing is focusing on promoting, getting the stuff out there, getting into more markets, getting more people to be knowledgeable about our products and our programs, and to help people live a better life. Again, that's really all it's about. We believe that God has given us gifts and talents, but we need to be able to use them effectively to not only bless ourselves, but to bless our family and make a big, lasting impact on this world, expand the kingdom, and to be able to support others who are in need. If we can do that, trust me, you're living a good life. And we produce these resources, like you see. Some of my books are here, right? Last year alone, we published 3 books, right? 3 books. But here's some of my books again. Strategic Secrets. This one is about different strategies and principles to become successful in your life, to become great. This one, we talk about Win Now. This is about mindset and motivation, the #1 secret ingredient to instant success in any area of your life. This has to do with how do you win the battle up here and how to use your mind to be able to actually bring forth the kind of dreams and goals and visions that God has given to you. It's not an easy journey, but it is one that is worth going through. But when you know systems and strategies, you're able to do more, not just information. Information is good. Knowledge is good. But knowledge that is not applied and knowledge that is not strategic does not really do us much good. That's why our company is called Strategic Secrets, because we help people to up-level their life with strategies and principles that have proven to work and will be proven to work because they're eternal principles. And if you apply these things consistently in your life, your career, your business, your ministry, to us, it's all one. We don't compartmentalize our life to say, oh, well, this is my secular life, spiritual life, this life, that. You are one individual with all these different areas of your life that are equally important, right? Because you can say, you're healthy, but then over here you're poor, you're broke, you can't get nothing done, so that's a problem. You can say, oh, I have great relationships, but then you don't have enough funds to be able to take care of your relationship. That's a problem. So it needs to all work together. It needs to be one individual stuff. So don't really compartmentalize your life, but the resources we produce will help you to gain victory and to become your best in any one of those areas. So let's get into it for tonight. Those are the preliminaries. Those are my introductory remarks. And so tonight, what are we going to talk about? What are we talking about tonight, Chance? Well, since it's the beginning of a new year, we all want to start fresh. Since it's the beginning of the new year, we all have dreams and goals and visions and resolutions. You know my feelings regarding resolutions, right? Most resolutions don't work. By January the 15th, they will all be gone. Today I went to the gym. Not a whole lot of people were there. You know why? Because everybody gets excited on the first and the second, even the first week, yeah. But I tell you, by the 15th, almost nobody, the same crowd probably who were there at the ending of last year will be there at the beginning. One of the reasons is because of the way we set goals. Okay, so that's why I want you to understand that there is a process and a system to setting goals and not just wishing. Most resolutions are just that, wishes. And so that's why most people don't achieve their resolutions or they quit on them because they were just a wish. So I want you to do better in this year. So tonight's topic, what are we talking about? 3 principles or 3 secret strategies to setting and achieving absolutely any goal. Now, there are many strategies, of course. As you know, in this book, one of my chapters actually is entitled 7 Steps to Setting and Achieving Goals, right? So it's not just only 3 or 1 or 2, but we know that there are many. But tonight, I want to give you my top 3 secret strategies for setting and achieving absolutely any goal. Let me do another check here before I go any further. Make sure we are good to go. Again, let me know if you guys are hearing me and seeing me. Make sure everything is okay. I don't want nobody to miss out on what we're going to be talking about tonight. So let's see what we got here. One quick second. And by the way, you can always share this link, right? Make sure you can invite somebody. That's all right. Invite folks. Let them know that you are here. Okay. So are you ready again? Let's go now. So tonight, let's talk again about the 3 principles or secret strategies to achieving absolutely any goal. Now, the first one, and again, for those who are here, okay, I have a very, very diverse background. So I talk about God and I talk about scripture stuff. If that offends some of you, just pass it by. Listen with your heart and your mind to get the principles. Because the reality is, of these eternal principles, that's why they work. They have worked for me. And so I wouldn't share stuff that I know don't work. If it works for me, I'm working it. If it's not going to work for you, at least you know about it now. And if it's your cup of tea, fine. If not, then that's fine too. At least you're learning something, because knowing what to do and knowing not what to do is also helpful. So if it's not for you, then you can just say, hey, I learned something tonight, what I should not do. That will help you a long way too. But I'm telling you, the stuff that I teach works. It's been working for me. And I'm telling you, it works for many people and all my clients. And so I'm sharing those things with you. So I'm going to interweave in this particular training story, right? One particular story from the biblical narrative in the Old Testament. I love these Old Testament stories because they're so rich with knowledge and principles. So here it is. Principle number 1. If you're going to set any goal this year, not resolutions, okay? Resolutions for the most part don't work because they're wishes. If you're going to set a goal, you want to be simple with it. Keep it simple. That's something they used to tell us all the time in the Navy. I'm a Navy veteran. My supervisor always used to say, keep it simple. Kiss it. Keep it simple. And they will add, the word stupid sometimes, but we don't want to say that here. No one is stupid. But you got to keep it simple. So simplify. One word, simplify. Your process, whatever you're going to do to achieve your goals this year, must be simple. You know, one of the reasons why most people don't do diets and all that stuff, because it's too complicated. When things are simple, you will be able to get it done. You must be able to explain it and know it and understand it. And this works with any area of your life. Again, think about it. If you were not achieving your goals in 2018 in health, it probably wasn't simple enough. Or sometimes it's too simple. You need a PhD to get it, right? Some folks don't do the simple stuff. They love complicated stuff. No, one of my favorite authors has a quotation that says, your success is in your simplicity. As soon as you depart from it, your power is gone. Simplicity works. Keep it simple, right? Simplify. Instead of 12 steps, 10 steps, whatever. If it can do it in 2, 3, 5 steps maximum, then I guarantee you that you will be able to get results. I do gardening, not because I have to, but because of these lessons, the simplicity. So from the biblical narrative, I'm going to give you an example of this, right? So there's a story in the Old Testament about Naaman, right? Naaman was a successful person. He was pretty much, you can say he was corporate, and he was also in the army, right? He was in the military. He was a military official. He was a general, but he had a problem. He was ill. He had, folks call it, let's say he had leprosy. So this is a skin disease that he had, and he could not be able to figure out how to cure his problem. And there was this little girl. This is why I'm saying you got to be simple. There's this little girl said, I know a prophet in Israel that if you go over there, he will tell you what to do and he will heal you, no problem. Now, this general he's a smart guy, very educated, full of intellect, and he is a general. So he has clout, he has power, he has money, all of that stuff, but he could not solve this one problem that he had. So he had to go over now to this prophet. Very simple guy. Prophet was a simple guy. He was not as probably smart as this military general, but he had connection and he knew how to get things done in a simple manner. So when he went to the prophet, he made a long journey, because it's not like, Syria was here and then Jerusalem is there. No, it took a while to travel. So he traveled with all of his posse. Think of the president going to be able to see a regular old little nurse somewhere for help, right? He has all of the rich folks and the educated folks and the best in the nation who can help him. But he's going to this little nurse somewhere in the backwoods of Alabama or Timbuktu or Mississippi, wherever you want to put it. So as he's going now, he meets up with the prophet now. The prophet doesn't even come out to see him. All the prophet says is, go and dip yourself 7 times in the Jordan River and you're going to be well. That's all you got to do. Now, this man has been for years with this problem. And now he's here hoping that this prophet is going to give him some master secret, like how we go to the gurus, we want some master secret to mastering this thing, to become successful, to overcome whatever challenge it is. And here's what the prophet simply said. My brother, you could have saved the trip. Go down to the Jordan River and dip yourself 7 times. That's it. Well, you would think that the general would be pleased with it. He got upset. The narrative said he was upset, he was angry, and he was actually heading back home. Come all the way from a whole nother country to be healed, the thing he wanted, the goal that he was trying to achieve, and he was so close to it, he was about to give up. His servant now, you got to tell you simplicity, his servant said, listen, my master, if the prophet had told you to do something difficult, you would have done it. But now because he told you to do this simple thing, you don't want to do it. All you got to do is just go and dip. Since we're here, why don't you just go and dip 7 times and we can solve this thing? So the man's servant had to convince him. And the narrative, go back and read it. The narrative actually says, if the man of God had told you something difficult to do, you would have done it. Because that's what he expected, right? But he simply gave him an instruction, and he was able to now, under the conviction of that message from a simple person, he went, he dipped 7 times, and guess what? He was healed. He came up healed. He solved his health problems. You and I, one of the reasons we don't achieve our goals is because the steps or the process we've taken is too complicated. So you have to simplify it, make it simple. So I want to ask you this question now. For your goals that you have this year, whatever it may be, finances, is it going to be a simple thing that you're going to do, right? So, for example, I was listening to John Hope Bryant last night, right? John Hope Bryant, who wrote The Memo and Love Leadership, right? And another book that he has there, How to Poor Can Save Capitalism. So I was listening to him last night, and he was talking about investing. And here's one of the simple things, for example, he said about investing. Most people don't understand investing. That's why they don't do it. Because investing sounds so complicated. We got to hire all these people, brokers, and all this kind of stuff. And it just sounds complicated for the average man or woman. And so all he said is this, simply, he said, invest in what you love. Just keep it simple as that. If you love Nike, invest in Nike. If you love Apple products, invest. Whatever you use on a regular basis, invest in that. I said, wow, this is what I'm talking about. Simplicity. So many of you who know you need to invest and have not been invested because it sounds complicated, here's a simple solution. In 2019, all you have to do is invest in the simple thing. Invest in what you know, invest in what you love. You love Amazon? Invest in it. You love Nike? Invest in it. Apple? Invest in it. Whatever you like and use on a regular basis, invest in that. And I had another Another person who gave me some breakthrough on that as well is Michael Lee Chin. Michael Lee Chin is a billionaire, right? So is a black man. He's actually part Jamaican and Chinese. But again, a regular, simple, average Joe came from nothing, but he became a billionaire. And he has only 5 investment principles, just 5. Everywhere he goes, if you search online for Michael Lee Chin, you will find that anywhere he has gone and everywhere he goes and speaks about investing, no matter how rich he is, he gives all of his investment, people and clients 5 simple strategies for investing. Very, very simple, very simple, and it's not hard. So I even love him because I'm like, listen, wow, he made it so simple for me. I'm like, wow, I can live with that. And one of the most overlooked strategies he says is don't just simply invest in stocks and so forth. He said invest in private businesses. So it makes sense, right? Makes a whole lot of sense, but it's so simple. It's hard. So keep it simple. Okay. So again, if you're thinking of losing weight, what's the simple process, simple thing of doing it? If you're trying to save, all you got to do is put your money on automatic, save $50 a week, a month, or whatever it may be. Save 50, 100, 500, whatever your comfort level is. But all you have to do is simply put that thing in an account every single month, every week, or every 2 weeks, whenever you get paid. Set aside some money, do it automatically, get it drafted. And so, therefore, now savings is easy. But when we try to do it ourselves, we complicate it. You know what I'm saying? When we try to have to remind ourselves every single, no, put it on autopilot, right? Okay, so let's move on. So, number one, again, to achieve any goal fast, what's the simplest thing that you can do to be able to achieve that goal? It doesn't sound revolutionary, but it doesn't have to be. That's what I'm telling you. Your success is in your simplicity. As soon as you depart from it, your power is gone. Stop complicating stuff. It's not hard to lose weight. People trying to lose weight, but it's really simple to lose weight. All you got to do is really, losing weight is really 3 things, really. Exercise, which we don't want to do. Eat right, which we don't want to do. And guess what? And sleep. But if you have to boil it down to 2, exercise and eat right. That's about it. Like everybody want the pill, everybody want the magic stuff and this, but it all boils down to the same thing. If you think of all diets, I mean, all exercise program or whatever health phenomenon thing, comes out, it comes down to those simple basics again. We got to somehow exercise. And that's what we don't want to do. See, it's the simple things we don't want to do and we try to complicate it. But everybody who is really, and then you look at these commercials, these people got big biceps and nice trim bodies, and we think they just happen to have it. Even the thing they advertise, they probably don't even use, right? They didn't get sculpted by doing what they're telling you on TV. No, they got sculpted by the hard work, by the putting in of the simple exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, lifting weights. Like, listen, it really, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. That has proven to build people's bodies forever, and it will continue to be the way in the future as well. So we can dial around everything and get all the gym membership and all of that. Listen, at the end of the day, most people have gym membership, we don't even go, right? 2 years in a row we had gym membership. Ask us how many times we really use the gym membership. Not a whole lot, right? So you have to be able to find a simple way. Now, number two. So if number one is being simple, we got to keep it simple, right? So then number 2 would be to systemize. So keep it simple and then systemize it. What do I mean? Have a process. Have a system or process that works, has proven to work. Not the one you try to just create yourself, really, but one that has proven to work. What do we mean by that? For example, okay, if we don't want to do it simple, then what's a system that will give you the result? For example, let's go back to the health, right? So a simple health program could have been, like I said, go walk, exercise, eat right, and get quality sleep each night. That right there is a proven recipe. But if you want to systemize something more systematic, for example, P90X, T25, these are programs that have been systemized to be able to produce the results. Catch what I'm saying? In your business this year, what are you doing? What systems are there in place? One of the reasons why businesses, whether it's small or large, fails is because they don't have systems and processes in place. You keep having to do the work over and over again. That's why people love technology and innovation, because with technology and innovation comes systems and strategies that can mass produce things, that can be able to make things work and flow without you being in there all the time, or at least shorten or lessen the load that is required to do some lifting. Here's another example I'm talking about. Even in relationships, what systems and processes can we have? Again, I'm just throwing some things out there. There are some people who say, okay, well, for example, they have a date night, right? Every single Monday is on the calendar. That's a system. You systemize your dating process. So every Monday at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you and your spouse, your loved one, you go out on a date. That is something. Worship, devotion, those who are Christians and spiritual folks here, people of faith, what you do is every single day at 5, 6, 7 a.m., you get up, you do this, and you have worship, you commune with God, and so forth. Those are the reasons why people grow. Some people don't have systems in place. They just go about stuff haphazardly. When you got up this morning, for example, what was your system? Did you get up based on a system, or did you just get up and say, well, I'm going to do whatever comes to mind today? Did you have a calendar, right? So right here, right? So here is my journal. And in it, you have your daily schedule, what you're going to do today, what you're going to do tomorrow, different things like that. So you have a schedule, and it can be whatever, but you have to have something that is systematic to be able to achieve the results that you're looking for. Finances, again, one of the ways is if you automate your investing every single month or week or whenever you get paid, you just tell the bank to take out X, Y, and Z amount of money and put it in your investment account. That's the only way that it really works, because most people don't have the discipline to do it themselves. And that's why generally people will have more money in their retirement account than they do in their savings or whatever, because they don't really see it. That's what you want, because that is systematized. Another thing is, if you're an entrepreneur, you're creating books and courses and so forth, if you got to keep doing this thing over and over again, what can you do to be able to make it more of a process? For example, I don't have to worry about these softwares and tools. It does all the work for you. That's a system. So I have a system of delivering webinars for you. Okay. And just sometimes, like when I'm not here or I'm going somewhere, I record the stuff early, but I'm live. As you guys can see, I'm live right now. Okay. I'm live right now. It's 7:29. But I'm saying, I think a couple of weeks ago, we had a Christmas party in the for my wife and other pastors and their wives in the area, and I went to that. And on the way driving there was the same time of our webinar. So I got on in the beginning and just introduced myself, but then I was able to play an automated webinar for the rest of it. So I just got on in the beginning because, in the beginning it's right at 7. So, I was there a little bit late at that event. But nonetheless, that's what I'm talking about, is making things systematic. Can you save systemically? Can you invest systemically? Can you be able to do your exercises systemically? Here's a system that you can incorporate when you want to maybe again we use health because that's one of the number one goals people have for the new year. It has to be systematic. So one of the professors at my wife's alma mater, Oakwood University, actually the president, right, Dr. Delbert Baker, he is a marathoner. I mean, he ran marathons all over the world on 6 continents at least. And guess what happened? Well, not at least, but he ran on 6 continents. And then we asked him, we used to ask him, he would come and give us devotional thoughts, a very godly man. So we said, what is your strategy? How is it that you're able to be so motivated that even in the Arctic, can you imagine running in the Arctic? Listen, man, that's some serious mental commitment. But here's what he said. For example, he said, listen, I'm just like everyone else. You get all those temptations to stay in bed and all this kind of stuff. But he said, here is my system and my process. Every morning, well, every night, he starts his day before. So every night, he lays out his gym equipment or his running shoes and his shorts and sweat, whatever he's going to be using for that day. He said he lays it out by the bed. So that way, as soon as he gets up, he don't have to think about it. He gets up and he puts it on. And then he begins his day, because now with his clothes on, it's hard for him now to go take it off and not go. Follow me? That's what we're talking about as a system. As a system. Do you have a system of record keeping? Do you have a system of taking payments? They have a system for being able to recruit people. Some folks in our community are coaches. For example, like we said, Michael just wrote his book. He's going to be recruited. So, Michael, do you have a system of bringing interest in or leads into your business so that you can now focus on what you do well rather than, oh, it's time for me to get a new client, and now you are running around trying to get a client, rather than, hey, I have a continuous system for generating leads, I have a system for following up, I have a system for booking, I have a system for confirming people, I have a system for even delivering my deliverables onto them. So you have to think along those lines. Again, think about it. Any business, you go to hospital, right? You go to the hospital, there's a whole lot of systems you're looking at, right? System of intaking patients, system of checking them, system of releasing, discharging, everything is all systematized. You have to have the same thing in your life, is make it systematic. Alrighty, so that's number one again, is simplify. Keep it simple, guys and gals. Don't make it complicated. 2 steps, 3 steps, 5 maximum, 7 pushing it, 10 too many steps. All right, too many steps. If you can do it in 3 steps or 5 steps, that's good. If you're pushing it more than that, it's too many steps. It's too difficult. Simplify it. And another one is you need a process. Okay. I don't want to belay this point. We have 30 more minutes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the system and process. Here's something that I personally love and use. It's called IPO, which stands for input plus process equals results. So this is the outcome that you need, right? Wonder if I can write it here. IPO. Let me try to write it out for you here. Okay, if that makes sense, let me know. If you have any questions so far, say, hey, Chance, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense. We can agree to disagree. So I'm going to draw this out for you, right? And I should have had my dry erase board up to teach on there. So I don't know if you can see that. So imagine there are 3 lines, right? So again, we're going to do I, P, and O. So it stands for input, right? Process, and output. So your output are the results, okay? The results you want to have. So that's where we started. That's what the goal is. So most people only have that. That's why we say resolutions are like just wishes, because we have a lot of outputs that we're trying to get our results. So it could be input plus process equals results as well. So results, that's the harvest, right? That's the harvest or the goal achieved. So when you say, for example, I want to lose 10 pounds, that's a goal, that's an outcome. You're trying to achieve that outcome. But what nobody focuses on is what has to go in and what process will you use to generate that outcome. Because your outcome, your input and process is determined basically what you're trying to achieve. So if you're trying to be, if you say, oh, I want to be a millionaire, you will never be a millionaire if you don't have a system and a process for it. Guessing and wishing is not what makes people millionaire. People become millionaires because they have a system, they have a process, they have certain things that they do on this side to achieve this on the outside. Let me talk a little bit to my people of faith also. One of the reasons why many of you, your prayers are not answered is not because God hasn't answered your prayer. God has indeed answered your prayer, but the problem is you have not done what he's requiring to be able to achieve the answer to your prayer. Here's what I mean. Prayers, for the most part, are conditional, and they're promises of God that are conditional, meaning if you do this, then this is going to be the outcome. But people just wish and hope and just say, God, bless me. Bless you with what? Bless you to do what? You don't have anything for him to bless. You have to have something. You have to be able to. Now, God can work ex nihilo, right, without, but at the same time is we don't know how the kingdom of heaven works. And so when you say, God, help me to be healthy, and you don't do your push-up, God is not going to come down or send an angel down, honey, to do your push-ups for you. God doesn't do that kind of stuff. So you can pray all you want for God to give you a chiseled body like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like who else? Like Demi Moore, right? You're not going to have that kind of body if you want to sit down at home and eat chips and ding dong and watch TV and sit on the couch. It's not going to happen. Even you pray and say, hey, you can be the Virgin Mary. It's not going to happen to you. Now, I know nobody ever talks to you like that, but that's because I'm not the regular person, right? I've been in this game for a very long time. And so I begin to understand many things. People are broke and they blame God, or they say, hey, I've been worshiping God, I serve God so much, but I'm still struggling financially. You know why you're struggling financially? And people who don't even pray to God are doing way better than you. You know why? Because they work on God's principles and operations and procedures, and they get the results, while you are coveting the results but not want to put in the work and the effort. You don't want to put in God's system. You don't want to practice God's principles. So, one teacher says it this way: there are people in the world who practice God's principles without knowing who God really is. And then you have people who know God, but they don't practice his principles. They love his person, loving, just, merciful, forgiving, kind, and all of that, which is true. But let me tell you, you will not succeed and you will not become a great and wealthy person simply by wishing and praying to be wealthy. It doesn't happen. When you pray to be wealthy, God says, now let's get to work. We often forget in the Old Testament, he used to tell the people, I will bless the work of your hands. If you have no work to bless, that's why he says those who don't work, they don't eat. Why you don't eat? Because you don't have no money. How do you get money? By working. You got to have something for him to bless. So now I'm just trying to help somebody here. If you begin to do that, you work and cooperate with God now. So for example, like I said, you pray and you believe in God, God gives you strength. So you say, God, I want to be able to lose weight. So now you say, God, give me strength, give me your Holy Spirit, give me power. And now he energizes you with power, but then he's going to wake you up in the morning now. And we stay in bed. How can God bless you if you're going to stay in bed when it's time for you to work, time for you to do and put in the effort? He's going to bless you when you do what he says. That's obedience in practice. This is what a lot of people of faith don't get. And that's why every week they go church, and they keep hearing these messages. You hear a lot of these rousing stuff today. Everybody giving you these declarations. You can declare all you want. Declarations without application doesn't do anything either. You can declare till you're dry and blue in the face. Listen, you're my faith group community. Things happen with application. God's people are not destroyed for lack of knowledge. God's people today in this dispensation are destroyed for lack of application of knowledge. You got to read the text carefully, right? Hosea didn't say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's partially true. That's part of the text. The second part of the text says, because you have rejected the knowledge. So they're not destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because knowledge is available. Even the prophet Daniel said, in the last days, knowledge shall be increased. So we have more knowledge today. The point is, though, people don't do and practice the knowledge that they have. That right there is why anybody can be successful. That's why you don't even have to rub a competition. You know why? Because most people would not do what is required. I'm telling you, being healthy, the healthiest person in your community, the healthiest person in your house is easy. Why? Because most people would not eat right. Most people would not get up and do what is right. And if you do that, you will always outshine other people, because that's why I don't compete with anybody. I don't compete with anybody. There are people who are smarter than me with more degrees than I have, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes, like for example, you go to some conferences and folks be like, oh, you've written 10 books. Yeah. How many have you written? No. And you the Dr. So-and-so with this big old thing behind your name, and they don't have. It's not nothing bragging. I'm saying, but you wouldn't sit down and do what I've done to be able to write your book. So therefore, how can you outshine me? You cannot. You cannot. You cannot outshine those whom God bless, but God blesses people who have vision and who are going somewhere. So input plus process. So again, you want to lose weight? What's the input? You got to put in your time. You got to put in the effort. And what's the process? Like we said, you're going to do push-ups, sit-up. You're going to go to the gym 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever it may be. That's the process. And then by and by, in a certain time, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed, time, and harvest. That's a principle as well. Seed, time, and harvest. That's the same thing. This is the process right here. The harvest is the outcome. John Maxwell says reaping is automatic. You're going to reap. The problem is no one wants to sow. See, that's why I do gardening, to remind me of these principles. Not that I always eat what comes from my garden, but every time I garden, I always get a result. You know why? Because I'm following certain principles. What can you input and what process can you use to get the outcome? Another thing. So let's say again, money, right? Everybody wants some money and to do better. So let's say you want to save $50,000 or you want to make an extra $50,000. You just can't wish for that and pray for that. How are you going to just pray and think God is just going to magically, like I said, some of us are very superstitious and we really check it out. I'm telling you, don't get me wrong. And so for those who want to check me, I know, I can be blunt here because this is our community, right? Monetize Your Skills, you guys know me. But I wrote a book on prayer, so don't think I'm a prayerless person. No, I understand how prayer works. I wrote a book called what? Prayers That Move Heaven. So I know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't understand prayer. Again, you're wishing, you are just doing the same thing like resolutions, right? If you understand how God works and how He operates, then you will be able to see better results for your praying. Again, it's not that God answers every prayer, honey. Okay, so just keep that in mind. He does answer every prayer, but the problem is we don't get the result of the prayer because we are not following certain protocol. The kingdom of heaven has protocol. If you follow the protocol, you will get the outcome every time. So, for example, our church also, this in a few days, our church is going to make the final payment on its mortgage. This was an outcome, results that we wanted, right? 2, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, so almost 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I think we made a declaration with your mouth, right? You got to speak it. Yes, we said, hey, we want to be a debt-free church. We got to be able to do more for the community and be better stewards of the resources God gives to us as a faith community. But I mean, they've had the mortgage for quite a while. But when I came, I need resources. I don't have resources. All the resources are tied up in the mortgage. So we said, okay, we need to be able to pay off this mortgage so that we can commit more of the resources to the purpose in which they were given and why the church exists. So people bought into the vision. But we didn't sit down and just only pray. Yes, we pray. As a matter of fact, we have a small group that met every single week, every Sunday, early in the morning. They would meet and they would pray. And I know that the Lord answers some of those prayers. But let me tell you, it wasn't just by sitting down and wishing that it would go away. Yeah, that money, folks still gotta pay and give money and give and do all of those kind of things. So we followed though a system that even me I had never learned before about money, of how to pay off mortgages very swiftly. Not only just preparing the principal, which most people do, but I learned from another gentleman a process of how any loan, mortgage, or whatever it may be repaid very, very swiftly. And that's the program we follow. So that's what I'm saying. So we put in our income. That's the input side over here, so you can't see it. So that's the input side. We put in our time. We put in our prayers. We put in, our sweat equity. And we use the process of mortgage liquidation. And then now we're able to get the results in what? In less than 4 years. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. Writing books took me 5 years to write my first book. Why? I didn't have a simple process. In the beginning, I designed my own book. I edited my own book. I did everything. 5 years. But then I learned a simple process: input, process, output. When I did that, guess what? My next book took me about 3 weeks. Then another book took me 2 weeks. Now I've written a book in 1 hour. How is it possible? Some folks might be, oh, that's not possible. It is possible when you know the system. When you simplify and you keep making it more simple, then it becomes easy. Now, like I said, we can churn out books so much, so I want to do that all the time, you know. So, like I said, last year alone, 3 books we came out, and they were back to back, all released in June, I think, last year. Right? 3 books in 1 month. How is that possible? Because we learn to simplify and we learn to systematize. We have processes. So here's the final one now. Here's the final one. I hope that helped you. Again, this is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran, #1 best-selling author, implementation strategist, and you are part of our Monetize Your Skills community. And some of you might be coming in who are new from Strategic Secrets. They're all one. They're all under the same roof now. So Strategic Secrets University or Monetize Your Skills Academy is all one and the same. Here's number 3. That is so simple that it's going to blow your mind as well. The master teacher from Nazareth had 12 disciples who shook up the world and changed the world in a radical way. Right? They were unlearned and uneducated men, is what the Holy Scriptures say. But guess what? Their influences still felt today. How is that possible? It says somewhere that they were able to change or turn the world upside down. And yet we have people of faith today who can't even turn one block upside down. We have the latest technology, we have the latest this, we have the latest that, and yet it seems like we cannot make an impact on the world as we ought to. What's the difference? Well, I'm going to give you one secret now that Jesus used with his disciples to help them to achieve greatness. Are you ready for it? It's so simple, we've overlooked it. Again, things are simple, people think you need a PhD. Now, here it is. ASK, ask. That's right. That's right. I told you all of these may sound simple, but it's what gets stuff done. I'm going to show you now. So, when we say now, ask is a strategy for achieving your goals in 2019. Here's how it can happen. You see, when you struggle, it's a sign that that's not your strength or your giftedness or you really want to do it. Struggling is good. Struggling is part of growing, right? So we need struggles. But I'm saying when you chronically struggle and you really don't want to do it, like you're dragging yourself through the mud to get it done, I don't think that that's the way stuff ought to be done, personally speaking. If that is happening to you, what you need to say in 2019, instead of going it alone or trying to do it alone, ask for help, right? Humble yourself and ask for help. Why is that? Because that's the game changer. That's the game changer, right? So ask has three principles in it. A is for ask, S is for seek, and K is for knock. You got to ask, you got to seek, and you got to knock. When you do all three of those, and by the way, we don't follow that too in our prayers. Most people will ask in prayer, but they don't seek, nor do they knock. But he said to do all three. Again, I tell you, you got to follow what the word says. You're not following the whole entire principle. When Jesus said to ask, if all you do is ask with your mouth, but you don't seek, because he said, whoever asks will receive, and whoever seeks will find, and those who knock, those will be open. Those have not been open to you in 2018 because you did not knock on them. Those will not be open for you in 2019 if you don't knock on them. You can even pray, but that's part of the equation. You got it goes together. It's like algebra. A plus B equals C. If you got A and B, but you don't do C, you're not going to get the results either. So that's why you have to do them together. Now, here's how you can quickly become better at what you're doing. For example, again, let's take a few things. We're going to talk about let's talk about health first, right? Health is the number one. Your greatest wealth is your health. So let's just say you're struggling to lose weight, gain weight, to build muscle, whatever it may be. What about if you ask a trainer, a mentor to be able to do that for you? Now, do you see what the difference is? Today, like I said, I went to the gym this morning and there were a whole lot of folks over there who had a personal trainer. Then I even saw a lady, she had to have been in her, well, I would say late 60s and possibly early 70s. And her trainer, she had a personal trainer, but it wasn't no young folk. Guess what? Her personal trainer was a fit lady who looked like she was in her late 50s, early 60s. So this is one of the ways to be able to do that. 2 years ago, too, just like everyone, too, I had, let me put my New Year's resolution is to be more active in the gym and all that kind of stuff. And guess what? I knew I need this same principle, right? So I started off very good. I had a trainer, I had a personal trainer, which is someone from my congregation. He's buff, he's built, he goes to the gym all the time. It's not a struggle for him. That's what I'm saying. I got help from a person who models what I want to, and don't get help from people who are not where you want to be or who are producing the results you want to get to. So that be careful of that. So that's a principle in asking. You got to ask those who can help you. You got to ask those who have the results already. You got to ask those who are where you want to be. So this man was the model and epitome of health. So I said, brother, I need a personal trainer. No problem. And he gave me his schedule. Meet me here. Now, what did that do for me? I didn't have to go plan what workouts I'm going to do. I didn't have to go figure out anything, what to eat, all that. Guess what? When I show up at the gym, he already has what I need to do at that point. Already have it. Right? So how was I able? I was able to keep my goal as long as I had the trainer. But guess what? After a while, I said, well, you don't need a trainer. So I would go at myself sometimes and I would start doing my own thing. And guess what? I tell you, for the rest of that year, the gym membership was sitting there just wondering, where are you? Old Chance, where are you? Right? Because I wasn't showing up. Why? Because the trainer wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So the trainer helps to keep you committed as well and accountable. So you got to find a trainer in your health. Now, finances. We have not been taught to get financial advice. You need a financial advisor. So who is your financial advisor? Go ask somebody who is doing well on finances, or pay for it and go get the help that you need to get your finances in order. It's going to make a big difference, wouldn't it? Right? So you got to ask an expert, ask someone who has knowledge of what you're trying to do, so your business can become better by going and asking somebody who's an expert in marketing. Right? So even today, I have a friend of mine who's in the investment field as well, like I said, and someone had given me recently some advice on certain things. And guess what? I just sent him a simple message to that, say, hey, can you just check this out and let me know what your thoughts are on this, or if this is a legitimate thing. And sure enough, he replied to me by not even 5 minutes later on, but not, you probably want to stay away from this completely. Save myself trying to figure it out, research it, doing all my stuff, which I'm known to do. I like doing that kind of stuff anyways. But I'm just saying, I ask the expert, the one who is better than me, the one who is actually, this man is a certified, right, investor, right, qualified, and so he has the credential to be able to do it, right? He's a credentialed investor. So I went to that person for the wisdom and the advice. That's what you got to do. It's the same thing like the young lady, right? In our story in the beginning, Naaman, she said, go and ask the prophet. The prophet has the answer. You got to go there. The prophet is the go-to. That's the help, as an example. So when he went there, he got the solution that he needed because he didn't know what to do. He couldn't solve it. So you went to the person who had that. So it's interesting to me that when you got a health problem, we can go to the doctor. That's a good example, right? When we got a mechanical problem, we go to the mechanic. But when you get marital problems, who do we go to? When we have a financial problem, we don't go to anybody. And we even think that it's taboo to go to those. Interestingly, interesting, right? School, we go to our professors. We go to an institution to learn. But it's the same thing in other areas of your life as well. You have to go and get the help that you need. Right now, there's a coach that you can pay a small amount of money, perhaps, and even free, to be able to help you out to get to the next level of where you're trying to go. Don't try to figure it out. So don't struggle in 2019 trying to lose weight, trying to save money, trying to get out of debt. Find the person who is an expert in that thing and go to them, and they will be able to help you. Right? You guys see my website, it's a whole update. Let me tell you, for 6 years, I've been designing my own website. I've been doing all of my blogging. I've been doing it all. And I've become proficient in it. But to take my stuff to the next level is the same thing. I got to drink my own Kool-Aid. So I said, listen, this is crazy. I had the same problem with my books, right? Now I'm able to chunk out books because I don't do the editing anymore. I don't do the designing anymore, the layouts, all of that stuff. I got a team of people who do all of that. So my website, I had to take the same approach. I said, listen, this stuff is becoming a problem and overwhelming because I got other stuff to do. So I get hired too, not free. We love so much free stuff, but I'm saying free is good if you start now. But sometimes to get to that point, you need to be able to pay, because that's an investment. You got to invest in you. So I paid someone a hefty fee to redesign and totally automate my website, my whole online presence now. And I'm satisfied. I love it. I love it. But I went to the expert. I didn't try to figure it out, because it's going to take me forever to learn how to do all of this stuff and set up my stuff and whatnot. So I know and understand. We bring people on here every week to teach you guys. So I brought on, for example, when it comes to e-commerce, right? We brought on somebody. That's the expert. So that's what I'm saying. Stay connected with us. You need help? We got it. We brought on Aaron Delazensky. Aaron Delazensky does 7 figures in his e-commerce store. He came on and told us the strategies, right? I know I'm certified in Facebook, but again, to do all of that myself is time consuming. So guess what? A few weeks ago, didn't we bring on Michael Wilson, who is the guru when it comes to Facebook and growing your personal presence on Facebook? That's the kind of stuff that we're talking. So now I have people to help in all these different areas, right? So when I have a financial problem or investing, I know who to go to now. When I have stuff with online, let us say marketing, YouTube, I know who to go to. Facebook advertising, I know who to go to. I don't have to go figure it all out now, because that's simplifying my life. I want you to do the same. Your goals can be achieved, but you got to get help. Go and find a mentor, Ask a coach, ask an expert, ask somebody who is doing it to the level that you love, and ask them for the help. And trust me, it will lower your barrier, and it will lower the struggle and the stress that you will experience trying to achieve your goal. Okay? The fastest way to become a millionaire is to find one who is already a millionaire or a billionaire, and guess what? And you let them mentor and coach you along. And you find a business model that's similar to what many of them are doing, and you follow that. And in no time, you'll be able to get there. So those are the kind of same thing that we talk about. But every person who we bring on here, you guys and gals don't have to worry, because again, in this book and what we do here, we interview 6 and 7 figure earners, right? They're vetted. We bring them on to teach you different things. So you are in an awesome place. Alrighty. So I hope that served you. And if there's any question, please post them. If not, I'm going to be able to now. I want to share with you a bonus, as it were. If you want to take your life to the next level on a quick note when it comes to leveling up in 2019, then I want some of you to go ahead and register for the Greatness Challenge. That's another way to be able to get yourself going, right? So sometimes when you want to reach a goal, you need a deadline. The problem is too many of us, when we set a deadline, we know it can be moved, right? But with a program like this, that's why people enter different competitions, because it's a form of accountability. And not only that, but it gives you something to work towards. So this program here is just $1 a day. It's not nothing expensive. So I'm gonna just say, hey, we are running right now a Greatness Challenge. Registration ends on Monday the 7th. So you want to go ahead right now and get into that program. It gives you 40 days, and we give you short videos and different things every day for 40 days to help motivate, encourage, inspire you, and some action items that you can do. If you're able to get into it, I encourage you to get into it even now. Okay? So the Greatness Challenge, let me tell you more about it. So when you get in there, you're going to have an account. Okay, Strategic Secrets University, you're going to get one of the accounts, and then it give you a password and so forth. All you got to do every day, you get a message, or every day you log in and you do that day's action item or challenge. Okay, so again, it's about greatness. It's not simply about goal achievement, because we here believe that the purpose of success and becoming our best is so that we can make a lasting impact and sustain whatever mission, visions that God has given to each and every one of us. That's what we're about. So it's not about a selfish thing for us and me and my household. No, it's about, yes, that's the basic level, but greatness has to do with impact, reach, expansion, legacy. That's why we want you to follow us in 2019, because there are many things that we're going to do. So I'm going to tell you guys also on next week how you can get involved in the vision of Strategic Secret and how it's going to benefit and even profit you. Well, I'll hold that for next week. But for now, I want you to take up the challenge, 40 days. If you go fast, because that's how you have to challenge yourself, okay? Now, many of you, for example, in our books, when we talk about books now, we only give you 7 weeks maximum to do your book, because now we've proven we have a system and a process where you can write a book in 1 hour, you can write it in 1 day, 1 week, a month, right? We've written, published, produced, and promoted books to #1 bestsellers on Amazon in less than a month, because it can be done. Because we believe when you take speed and action that is consistent, you get greater results. The problem is sometimes we drag stuff out because we put too much time with it. Okay? But with focus and intensity, you can get stuff done. So that's what I'm saying is, so you want to get involved in the 40-day Greatness Challenge, click right there now. It should be able to come up on the side of your screen. No matter what device you're on, I think you should be able to see that. But again, why not invest in yourself? It's not a whole lot. Like we said, I mean, I put a cost on there always, because you know what? We get stuff for free all the time. If you don't invest, it doesn't make a difference. Again, you paying gym membership, we're not getting the results. So I'm just saying $1 a day. This is not $40 a month. This is $1 a day, right? For 40 days, $40. We blow that, okay? We blow that in you go out and you get a date, or you get whatever it may be, you can blow that. So I want you guys to not consider, let me be direct. Join the 40-day challenge, okay? With us. We've already started. Some folks are already started, but you have at least until we're gonna close down registration on the what was that, on the 7th, which I think is Monday, right? So we're gonna close registration. But join the 40-day challenge. Give yourself 40 days to accomplish something big, something huge, man. This should be the year of greatness, not just trying to achieve our little goals. That's why tonight's stuff we talk about big goals. We want you to set big, demanding goals too. Right, not frivolous stuff now, not wishes. I'm not talking about wishes, right? Like we said, for example, you never made you never made a good amount of money in your life, and we just say, "Oh, I'm going to be a millionaire this year." It doesn't happen like that, saints. It's not going to happen like that. You can't wish it like that. You got to have a good system and strategy process, and you just, your rich uncle is not going to just come and give it to you right like that, right? It just doesn't happen. If it does, those are the irregularities. Those are not the generality. Those are not general for everybody. So, greatness challenge. I want you guys this year, man. 2019. Strategic Secrets University, Monetize Your Skills Academy. We are coming together under one roof. We want you guys and gals to rock it with us. We're going to give you opportunities where, again, we want to partner with you. Again, we said anybody who takes our course, right? So we have levels to this thing now. Anybody who takes our course or any one of our course this year, what we want to do is help you to produce your product, program, or service, promote it for you and with you. And then now we're able to now, instead of you trying to figure it all out, we help you do it, and then we sell it, your thing on here. So if you have visions, you have ideas, you have knowledge that you can help people, we want to help you turn that knowledge into products, programs, and services, and we want to offer them. Because here, right now I'm the main person. We're gonna have my wife is gonna I'm gonna get her to put some things on here as well. Like I said, but we have other students. Like we said, Michael just finished his book. Michael is using that for coaching and consulting. But we hope that within the first 6 months as well, we can help him to turn that into an online course offered to our community here. So we want to have different teachers, different people come in here. Strategic Secrets University is all about creating products, programs, and services to help God's people to be able to become great, to become their best, to go out there in their health, their relationships, finances, all these areas. We want to become the best. It is time for us to raise up and realize that we've been playing small in this big universe of God. And people in the world are doing better than many of us, and they don't even pray to the God you say you serve. But you know why? Because they're doing certain things in a certain way, and God is no favorite. He will bless whoever is following his principles and guidelines. We got to learn those things. And most people have not given us that type of information. So we want to create the books, the courses, the seminars, the workshops, the webinars, the conferences. That's where we're going. We want to be the shop for people of faith to go to when it comes to being able to grow success in all areas of their life, not just in one place, spiritual. Because that's where most people just get it. You just get the church, this stuff from church, and that's it. But the rest of their life is a whole mess, right? They go to church, they pray, they do all of that kind of stuff, and yet they're broke. They can't get nothing done. They're not excellent at their work. They're always from job to job, those kind of things. This is not for you. This is not for you. That's not how it works. We want you to be like David and Daniel and Joseph. You think of those guys who were excellent, man. Those guys were producers. Solomon was producer. All of these people created and made things happen. And we don't see those things because we have taught one way. I want to bring balance. I want to be able to help you to live a balanced life. When it talks about your whole life is a blessing, and now you can become a blesser, right? That's not a wishful thing. That's a thing of a dream and a vision that God has given to us. We are channels of blessings, but you can't bless others if you're standing in the line with them. How can you bless people when you're in the line begging for handouts at the same time? No, you can't do that. You got to be able to now master the principles, and that's the difference. Is the applied knowledge that is given to us that will make the difference. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So 2019, set big demanding goals. Dream again. Go back and revisit all those big things you used to dream about of becoming. It's possible. He's already put it in you. He's given you the strength and the faith already, but you have not been working towards it, or you have not been following certain guidelines and strategies. We want to bring folks on there. And if by chance you're on here as well, because we want to start surveying more of our community, because again, it's not just me. that comes on here on a weekly basis. But if you have knowledge and expertise, you got to be expert, because we want to give the best knowledge and the best information. If you have expertise in the area of health, finances, relationships, success, motivation, inspiration, you know, goal achievement, time management, productivity, you're a manager, business owner, anything along those lines, and you're doing well, we want you to be part of the community. We want you to be able to teach other people, and we want to be able to help you take your knowledge and convert it to products, programs, and services that other people can benefit from. And we'll remunerate you for it. We will be able to, offer it where it's a two-way thing. You sell our stuff, we sell your stuff. Our students now are going to be able to have an option in 2019 now. If you, by default, if you go through the courses, you're going to be able to have an opportunity to promote and sell those courses yourself and get a commission for it. So that way you don't have to also develop your own, right, if you don't want to. So, or people who are not into business, but they can refer other students to our community, great. We reward you for that. So those are the kind of exciting things that we have in store for 2019 and beyond. The next 2 years is a pivotal time for us, and we really are upscaling. We really want to take this thing. We know that it works. We know that we've seen successes. We've seen how we've helped people to achieve. But now we can't play small ourselves either. We are trying to get up there now where we can turn this thing into multiple seven-figure stuff. That's really our goal in 2 years. I'm making a declaration here, but we're working towards it as well, because we interview people. We bring them on all the time. We show them how to do this stuff, and we see that the results are there. But part of it is now we need the community. We need the community togetherness. So we want to do it with you. We want to do it for you. However it works best, let's do it together. So every week, make sure you set your calendar. I'll be back here on Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. Every single week, just join us. And again, if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, please do so. And lastly, all your contributions, every product you buy from us too, we use most of that to bless other people and to do missions and those kind of things. We just had Kojo Tomasi came back from Kenya. Great results, great blessings, right? We had an event in October where I spoke at that event, and many of you got into our course there. We gave all the proceeds, 100% of those proceeds, to this humanitarian endeavor in Kenya. The speaking engagement, I took nothing, no remuneration for that either. We gave all of that to this cause. That's the kind of way we think here. That's what we want. That's the kind of vision and mindset we have, not just by begging and asking for people to give money free. No, we give you and you bless us, right? We're not doing it only on the donation basis. We're doing it on the basis of we give you products, programs, services to help you in your life. You remunerate us, and we can be able to do that. So that's a trifecta blessing. I'm blessed, you're blessed, and those that we help together, they are blessed. Trifecta blessings. So take care. Happy New Year again. Go ahead, please. Remember, this thing closes down Greatness Challenge, 40-day Greatness Challenge. Why don't you join us on this journey for the first 40 days of 2019? Let's rock it together. Let's support one another. And God bless each and every one of you. Good night.